Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of Visibility Made Easy. My name's Jenny Kovacs, and I'm nicknamed the Queen of Being Seen because you being seen, being heard, getting out there, putting yourself out there is why I get out of bed in the mornings, and I happen to be quite good at that, apparently. So, yes, I'm in a different location, as you can see. I'm actually in Cambridge, and any second now my nephew could come running through the door, so if he wants to come on camera and say hello, then I'll try and encourage him to, and if not, then he might not. That might have been him now. He's going, no. I'm very proud of my nephew. My nephew started his YouTube channel when he was 11. He's probably going to get really embarrassed. Do you know what? He had 650, maybe even more than that, subscribers. And I remember having this conversation and asking him, like, how did you do that? He said, Auntie Jen, you just ask. That's it, you just ask. So there's a lesson from my lovely nephew. Anyway, we're going to have some yummy food after this, so I'm not going to stay too long. And I wanted to talk about, like, be careful what you wish for. Hey, Lisa. Evening, says Lisa. Hi, Reg. I'm really excitable today. This is the longest day of the year, and there's something magical about the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year, and for me it feels like I want to do as many things as I love, as much of as I love, and I've got a slightly longer time frame to do it than normal. I know that sounds a bit wacky. So Reg is saying, think I'm going to just ask. There you go, you've taught Reg something. He's like that. He's now nearly 16. He's really cool. So he's not likely to come on camera unless I persuade him. So anyway, okay, be careful what you, or I can't remember what I called this. It's the be clear on what you wish for, I think is what I called this. I will double check. But here's where this came from. So as many of you know, I have a gorgeous community of visibility vibers, or the vibers as I call them. And Vibes is an acronym of the system that I created, quite accidentally actually, but the system I created that allows you to raise your credibility, raise your profile and get your work out there. Now, I did this in a corporate setting. I was an employee and I managed to overly treble my income. In fact, when I worked it out on paper, it's quadrupled. I was able to quadruple my income and rise very, very quickly in a very short space of time. And on paper, that shouldn't have happened. I had a bit of a background in the industry, but I didn't have the university degrees. I didn't have the qualifications that are normally associated with a great career in financial services. So it was only in 2012 when I looked back at what had happened and what I'd done with the help of a coach, because trying to do it for yourself is the hardest thing to do on the planet. And when I put the pieces together, piece by piece by piece, then I realised, actually, even though I can bespoke it for someone's business, whether they're service-based and they're like a coach or a consultant or a freelancer, whether they are a product-based business and they sell things like, you know, it could be, some of my clients have sold garments, dresses. Some of my clients have sold physical products like skincare ranges. I'm trying to think of other physical products. I had a web designer back in the day. I've had people that worked in financial services, financial planners, all sorts of different types of people. But then what I also realised was not only was I able to get these great results, they were able to get these great results. And there was something about the way that I was doing visibility or sharing visibility that actually helped them to sell more of their products and services. So over the years, I have shared the Vibe system, 5 steps of the Vibe system. V is about visibility, and there's pieces underneath, including video, Facebook Lives and things like that. I is about the impact that you make or the impression that you leave so that people remember you and either come back to you or get people and point them in your direction. B is around the story. It's a biography that you tell of you, of your story, especially if you're like the face of your brand. You know, I am the Queen of Being Seen, and whilst I have had people work as a kind of a team for me in the background, it's me that people follow, and it's me that they look to. So how do you tell the story without being too personal, too much information, you know, naming and shaming your family and friends? And how do you tell the story of your product? Because that's the really important piece that people miss. The fourth step is the E. It's all about the energy. Like, what's your vibe like? If you're very serious, you're a Jack D type of character, there's nothing wrong with that. But being more of yourself, having more of your vibe is really important. And then the other part is the energy. Too many of you are trying to be all things to all men. You're trying to do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, public speaking. You're trying to do online courses. And actually, all that will happen is it will take you on a quick road to overwhelm, burnout, and falling out of love with your business. So despite sort of contrary or popular belief, there are a few business structures that I have in the background that support the visibility framework, which makes it easier for me to go out and sell my services. And actually, I started off selling my services more from a high ticket perspective. I didn't start off with online courses and all of that and building funnels and, you know, free stuff, $9 stuff, $20 stuff. I actually did it the other way around with the help of a really great mentor that I had in America. So the fifth step is the S, and there's kind of two pieces of that. There's the ability to sell the value that you're adding, because when you're selling a service, you can't pick up the service and say this is what coaching looks like. You can talk about how great you are. You can get your clients to talk about how great you are, but you need a way to be able to articulate the value that you bring so that somebody A, has trust in themselves, and B, even wants to do the work in the first place. And you know, I've had plenty of calls where I've spoken to people, I've known I can help them, but they haven't had trust or faith in themselves and have decided not to go forward. Which brings me on to the next S in that, and that's the sales element. My job is never to sell at you or sell to you, which sounds really strange. My job is to let you see how my services, how what I offer can be of value to you, and that's yours too. Your job is to be able to let people know why you would be really great to work with them and why they would be really great to work with you. If you see somebody as an ideal client and you try dragging them through your door, they will at some point drag themselves back out. If they see you as the ideal coach and there's not a good fit, they will come excitable like a little puppy dog, and then you'll just want to push them off and push them out of the way, and that's just an ugly thing. Reminds me of a story in Turkey where some friends of ours that ran a bar had this new puppy, and me and some of my friends had gone to the bar, and the little puppy was yapping and jumping on my friend's jeans and like sunk its little teeth into her jeans. She freaked out, started kicking her leg, and this poor, I shouldn't laugh because it's not very funny, but it is if you've got my weird sense of humour. So she's waving her leg about, and this little puppy's like holding on for dear life, you know, thinking it's a game, and you know, she's kind of like trying to shake the puppy off. You might think that's attractive to have clients that love everything you do and bite onto your trouser leg like a puppy dog, but it's not a good look trying to shake off a puppy. You look bad, you look cruel, and they don't have a good experience after the end of it. So that's the vibe system, and if you've just jumped on, then do go back on the replay, have a watch back, and you'll see the 5 parts of the vibe system. So because of that, the people in my Facebook group, the Visibility Vibes Tribe, I nickname them affectionately the Vibers, and Vibe has had a whole new vocabulary of its own, like the one where you've been out there, you've been seen, you've been heard, you've been noticed, you've been selling, you've been doing well, and then you go into Vibination. And you think that you have fallen off the consistency wagon and you're not going to get back on again. I know that you will get back out, but usually there's one of those 5 areas or a combination of those 5 areas that you're a bit low on fuel in, which makes you feel like I can't go out there, you know, I don't know what content to write, so you don't know what impression to share, etc., etc. So in this journey of doing these 5 steps and the things underneath them, you know, be it video, Facebook Live, be it public speaking, you know, be it talks, or whatever your inclination is, there are other things for you to take care of too. Sorry, I've got a notification on my screen. I'm just going to get rid of it because it's doing my head in. And by the way, if you have got other friends and you can share this, then please do share it with them. You never know who needs to hear a message at any time, especially for what I'm about to say next. Hey, Jennifer Beaumont White is on. She says, hi, the Queen of Being Seen, Jenny Kovacs. Hello. Good to see you on here. And I hope you're having as much gorgeous weather as we are back here in the UK. So, what I'm about to share is about kind of the wishing and wanting element of visibility. You know what you're great at, you know what you want to do, you even know which clients are some of the best clients for you to work with. But underneath it comes a couple of things. There comes desires, choices, choosing to step up to the next level, even when friends, family, even sometimes peers are saying, what are you doing? That doesn't work. Choosing to spend the time with people who are going to lift you up. And I want to give a shout out to Lisa Pascoe here, because Lisa is like just a brilliant and beautiful soul, but she's got, she's very heart-centered, and she works with people who really need just to stop and pause. And she does some really exciting stuff, rewilding, going back, connecting with nature, looking at the moon cycles, your cycles, and working with those. But she's got a gentle fierceness to her as well. So she's no walk in the park, she's no pushover, and she balances all of these things, or harmonises all of these things in her business. Lisa and I share a love of many things, and one of the things that we share a love of is music. And so every now and then Lisa will say, have you heard this tune? And I'm like, no, haven't heard it. And I feel educated, a bit like my nephew says, Auntie Jen, check this out. I'm like, actually, I like that. And on Monday, Lisa sent me a message and said, have you heard this tune? It's by the Carters, who you will know more as Jay-Z and Beyonce. And it's their latest tune. You know what? I don't swear on my life, so I'm not going to. But it's a really cool tune. I heard it and I thought, you know what? It's all right. But what caught my attention, and this is where the kind of like really be clear on what you wish for. What caught my attention was the fact that they'd filmed their video in the Louvre in Paris, where the Mona Lisa is held. So think about this for a minute. You want to go and shoot a music video in an art gallery where sound, light, too much sound, too much light can actually ruin the paintings. The Mona Lisa is one of the pieces of art in there. So first off, you have to say to them, we want to shoot a music video. The music video is about 6 minutes long, but I suspect it probably took a couple of days to shoot. So the Louvre are going to have to shut their doors to their paying clients, not just people that live around the corner, but people that travel from all over the world just to have the Mona Lisa smile down on them. And by the way, will.i.am has also done this as well. He did this many years ago. I watched a documentary about it in America. And he did something, he did like a collaboration with Nicole Scherzinger, and he did another one with somebody else whose name that I've forgotten. Anyway, so imagine that you have decided you want to run your next event, your next workshop, your next video, your next Facebook Live in the Louvre in France. So number one, you have to know who to speak to even ask that question. You have to be really clear on what you want to do, how long you want to do it for, and let's face it, you need a serious amount of wedge. Because if you are going to pay for any losses that the Louvre could have, you're going to need to put that money out for them to say, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And it helps being very credible in your field, it helps being very visible in your field, and it helps having an impact, whatever impact you make. So they've said yes to Jay-Z and Beyonce. So they have now, made this video in there. It's a gorgeous video, and I love the cultural references that span all colours, white, black, and I really love that they've brought that into their video. Very artistically done, really great video. But I couldn't get past the fact that they're in the Louvre in France. Can you imagine? Can you imagine standing and welcoming your guests and hosting something when you're in that energy where all these beautiful things are? Think about that for a minute. Think about it. Yes, Lisa says, will.i.am with Ariana. Yes, it was. Thank you. I was forgetting who it was. So imagine you have got your next event coming up, your next retreat, your next workshop, your next video, whatever the thing is, your next public speaking gig, and you're in the Louvre. I mean, I got excited when I spoke at Google, like just to be in that building, but I think I would be unbearable, to be honest, if I was speaking in the Louvre. So every day this week, I've been going back and listening to the song, which means it's been growing on me. I've been waking up in the morning going, I need to listen to it. I really like it. And just like watching the art and everything else. And, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z even put a pause in the middle of their song too for ultimate effect. Jennifer, I've seen your comment. I will come close and read it in a sec. I'm not ignoring you. So they've done this video, they're in there, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I feel like I would like the Mona Lisa to smile down on me. There's just it's almost like my anchor. It's like my, you know how you might keep a photo of somebody that you love in your wallet so you can look at it and you feel good when you look at it. It's a bit like that. When I see the Mona Lisa smiling down on me, you know, it's just going to really reinforce the value that I add. Now, the value that I add won't be for everyone, and that saddens me. That's a whole nother Facebook Live story. It won't be for everyone. Not everyone sees the value, not everyone gets the value, not everyone's ready for the value. And there are people that I have to kind of say, you know what, come back when you're ready, or come back when you've got money to pay, because I don't do swaps and all of that kind of stuff. So I come here to Cambridge today to spend some time with my lovely nephew. And I'm sitting on the sofa that's actually opposite the one that I'm sitting on now. And I'm thinking about this Facebook Live and what am I going to share. And I look up, check out what's above my head. So, isn't it funny? The Mona Lisa is smiling down on me. How quickly I manifested that. But here's what's important. There are a couple of things that I've noticed when we decide that we're going to go out there, that we're going to get our message out there, spread the word of what we do. You know, some people will say play a bigger game, or however you articulate it. When you know it's time to seriously get your stuff out there, you're passionate about it, but to seriously get it out there in the world, there are some shifts that have to happen. And I don't mean just about kind of getting the technology ready for your website or the business structures. That has to happen too. But it's who you become in the process. And in order to look at who you become in the process, it's really important to look at your surroundings, your environment, listen to your internal dialogue, even notice your internal dialogue. When you're saying to yourself, I'm so stupid, I knew I couldn't do this, or I can't, doesn't matter what comes after it. When you say I am is like, they're two of the most powerful words that you can ever give yourself. When you say I am, you call in whatever it is you are. So why choose to say I am stupid, I am not good with technology, I'm really slow at picking up things? These are all things that I've heard. I am, hey Julia, you know, I am rubbish at doing ABC. Why choose to put those words behind I am? How about I am really great at this stuff. I am brilliant at helping people. I am figuring this out. You know, whatever the I am is for you. Why not look at how that can be empowering? So the first thing was the speech. And in order to notice the speech, it's not about changing it and making it perfect. But in order to notice the speech, it's important to know where that comes from. Because when you say, oh, I'm so silly, I can't believe I've done that, and you kind of jest and you laugh and you berate yourself, something inside truly believes that. And it's like you're putting out your pizza order to the universe and saying, this is what I want. So one of the things that I identified was like, yeah, I need to do something very different. I identified that I need to get really curious. I need to notice what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, how I'm showing up. I noticed that I needed more courage, because sometimes having the vision that I have, not even for my life, but for the people in it, my clients in it, the people that touch it, is so big, it can be a bit scary. So having the courage of my convictions to say, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go for and why. So for those of you in the Inner Circle Vibes group, which are They're clients who are current clients of mine, clients who have paid for products and services, clients who are in my monthly program. They are in that group. So it's a much smaller group than the Vibes Tribe, and you can only get into that group if you're currently working with me or a client or doing something with me. Okay. I am going to be sharing with you next week from Monday for 7 days what I've been doing, because it's been really powerful, a very powerful experience. So with a combination of Lisa telling me about this video, I've been starting up my day with meditation and things like that, as I normally would, but I've also incorporated something else which I'll share with the Inner Circle. If you're watching this now going, oh, I want to be in the Inner Circle and I'm not in there, the cheapest way you can get in is to go to the monthly subscription program at the top of this page. Pay your 29 quid, which includes VAT, and you'll be in for at least the next month, next calendar month. And if you decide that you want to hop out after that, that's fine. But if you want to stay, which a lot of people do, you not only get access to the Inner Circle group, but you also get a monthly live Q&A call. And I'm on the cusp of I might have to change the date for the Q&A call, because I've got something exciting, which I'll tell you about in there. So if you want to get involved in that, that's how I suggest you do it. But from Monday, for the next 7 days, and I hope that you guys will take that practice on further, I'm going to show you what I've been doing that has been like rocking my world. There are things that on Monday morning I didn't even know could happen in my life that have happened. And, you know, one of the other things that it made me really clear on is being clear on my desires. It's all well and good having desires, but if we're not clear on the desires, look what happens. I said I wanted the Mona Lisa to smile down on me. I said that, like, I even said that this morning. I said it on Monday, I think, in my conversation with Lisa. And look, the Mona Lisa is smiling down on me. What I didn't say was I want to be in Paris, in the Louvre in Paris, and have the Mona Lisa smile at me. So what I do take is the fact that she's smiling at me behind me as a really good sign. A really good sign and a really good reminder. When we are looking at our desires and our plans, and I believe the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, is probably the most magical day to do that on, then start to get your thoughts down. If you have to write it down, don't keep it rushing around in your head. I would say write it down with pen and paper. Let it go from your head, through your arm, you know, through your heart, through your arm and onto a piece of paper. Write down as if you were going to tear the page out afterwards. So write down your desires of what you want, as if after you've written it down, you're going to tear the page out and hand it to somebody who's going to give it to somebody and make it happen. So next time, rather than saying, I want the Mona Lisa to smile down on me and feel the energy of the Louvre, which I pretty much still do, I'm going to be more specific. I want to be in the Louvre in Paris, gazing up at the Mona Lisa, and the Mona Lisa looking down on me, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to be very, very, very clear. And the reason that I share that kind of seemingly silly example is, you know, I am in a kind of a pre-launch stage with another piece of work that I'm doing, another project that I'm doing. And I realised that I didn't have my intention down. I had the intention for the people joining it and the people taking part on it, but I didn't have any further intentions on there. So for those of you that are into manifestation and the law of attraction, those of you who know that thoughts become things, I wonder how many times you put it out there and finish it off with oh, I'll just see what happens. I actually caught myself saying that a few weeks ago, which is when I decided to step this up a bit. I'll just see what happens is not a solution, is not a place to walk towards. Because if you just want to see what happens, then nothing might happen and you might go away feeling disappointed. However, if you are really firm and really clear on your desires, and that includes your visibility journey, visibility should always come first. In my opinion, it comes before you go and pay someone to do branding. It comes before your website. And the reason why is that when you're visible, people know what you're about, you evolve more into what you're about, and you become more of who you're supposed to be. At that point, you're very clear, you know what you want, and it's so much easier to say to a web designer, hey, design my website. It's so much easier to say, you know, come and have a look at what I'm doing, and this is what I want to put more out of in the world. It's a lot easier to approach someone and say, I know you've got this event and I'd really love to speak at it. It's even easier then to go to an event and absorb and learn. You know, I read a 3-page PDF this morning on something that back in the start of my journey would have like meant a good 3-day event for me to absorb the information. Things move quicker, with ease, with flow, and they're lighter. So when you keep telling people what you're about, whether you've got a funnel ready or not, whether you've got the website ready or not, whether you've got the brand colours or not, none of that is irrelevant. Trust me in what I say as a visibility specialist, that when you tell people what you do, they will find ways to do more of it with you. But when you don't tell them, when you go into Vibination, they don't know you're there. They're looking for you. They might not realise it's you they're looking for, and then your post comes up, you give a talk, your event is shared, or some other, you know, thing like that, your video or something like that. And that's when they realise, oh my gosh, she was right in front of my face all this time. He was right there all the time. He can help me with this. And the beautiful thing is, you will also experience it. You know, I was talking to a good business friend of mine, and we were talking about how we're like, oh, we need somebody to do this very like special or specific thing in our business, and before you know it, literally within days, sometimes within hours, the perfect person lands on your feet and becomes part of your virtual hugging team that can take care of that piece for you. You're not doing it alone, you're not stressed, but you can only get to that from a place of clarity. So I'm going to go back and read these comments that I've seen whizzing through. Oh gosh, we've got Ian on. Hey Ian, Ian's been very posh. He said, good evening all. Normally he says, hey up, because he's from Yorkshire. We've got Julia Bernard Thompson. She says, hello. I am a money making ninja. You certainly are. See, Julia chooses what to put after her I am. Let's have a look. So I know Jennifer wrote a comment. So Jennifer is watching from LA. Well, Jill. So she's watching from LA, and she's going to watch a replay later because she missed the beginning. You are speaking truth. Preach it, sister. It reminds me of the lyric. I'll probably bore you all with this if you watch enough of my lives. But Alicia Keys, in one of her songs, she says, you've got to speak the truth when you're up in the booth. And this is your platform. If you see something that's not landing right with you, never be afraid to say it. It's part of your biography, it's part of your story. I feel really passionate about this because, and I'll tell you briefly why while I look for the other comments. I feel really passionate about this because in 2010 I ran a sales academy for a company. I was still, in fact it was before, it's back end of 2008, 2009 it started. It was a sales academy for a company that I worked for at the time, and it included 16 people. And it was literally my sole job to have these people that were aspiring to be salespeople in the financial services industry and mould them and shape them, like give them the skills, the knowledge, the behaviour that they needed. And you know what? Every single one of those people, bar one, got a sales job. But even though that was 2009, who do you think is the person that I still think about to this day? The person that, like, it saddens my heart that I couldn't get them into the sales role that they desired. You know, we did a lot of mindset stuff, we did a lot of practical stuff, but it's always them that I think about. And the same thing happened, you know, when I have calls with people and we could potentially do some work together and they take themselves out of the game with something that normally follows I am not in the right place to do this at the moment, I am too stressed out, I am working with someone else, and I'm going to get them to help me with visibility. And I ask, oh great, are they a visibility specialist too? And they say no, but they'll work it out. I am going to try and work this out. I am going to watch as many free webinars as I can and try and put it together. And you know, it's not that it doesn't work that way, it's a lot slower. And in the process, you know, I've had people come to me that have spent big money with big people, and they're like, I so get your work, and what you've shared here has helped me tenfold, but then I can't do anything further with them because they've spent out somewhere else. And it's always those people that I think about, and that's the bit that saddens me. So this is why you've got to speak the truth in your booth. Yeah, Julie says, inner circle is a cool place to be. There are a couple of people that are in the inner circle, and they're people that have like sponsored my events or come in as subject matter experts that are in there too. So it's a really good, really high vibe group of people too. So thank you for the shout out, Julia. Link to join the Visibility Vibes monthly program, Inner Circle. Oh, thank you. Julia's just posted the link. Thank you so much for doing that. Just to make it easier, if you are part of the Plan 2018, you will be in there already. And the other thing is, if you don't want to pay £29 every month and you want to do what some people have done and just pay for a year in full, you can do that too. 290 quid and you get 12 months for the price of 10 months, or you can pay quarter by quarter, 81 quid. So that's it, and that all includes VAT. So who else have we got on? Hey, iPhone is on. Sorry, late. Just join in. That's fine. Yeah, Jennifer's saying, talking about us being whole and complete. I completely get that. Everything is already inside us to rediscover. I agree with that. And that is, Jennifer makes a really great point. The piece that I see is where we are whole inside and we've got everything inside of us, yet we still try to forge ahead and do things that we don't know how to do. And unfortunately, if you don't know how to do it, you might not even know how to ask the questions. And the signs are around us. If we are out there to change the world and we've only got like one client feeding through, we're not on purpose. That takes us out of the game. That has us say, I am something other than powerful. It has us say something other than I am whole, or I am able to do the thing that we feel born to do and feels purpose driven. When you're on purpose, it's actually very easy. You just do it and the most magical things happen. But the intent and the desire has to be there so that you know what you're putting out there. So absolutely get that. What else? Definitely guilty of not setting clear intentions for what I want. I think it's a typical cancer trait. Yes, there's so many Cancerians. Oh my gosh. Little crabs, we all kind of cling together in the same corner, don't we? Expecting everyone to know what I want because people should be able to read my mind. Actually, I am going to say something that might sound controversial there. The reason why, in my opinion, people that I've worked with, and I've worked with people who've been absolute beginners to people who are very well known, you know, and obviously confidentiality, I don't blast their name all over the place. The reason that we actually do that, the reason that we expect people to read our mind is because we know the benefits and the value that it brings. And this is part of the S of the speaking the values piece, or sharing your value. Many people that are really great at what they do know why it's great, and they just simply forget to articulate that value to their audience, whether it's an audience of one, a room of people that you're speaking to. So, you know, I'm going to be speaking on Saturday, and I know that when I come off the stage, even though I've got a framework of what I speak about, I know when I come off that stage that I'll go, oh my gosh, of course, I needed to tell them why this is so important. So I've incorporated that in my talk framework. So I get that, and I think sometimes we do expect people to read our mind because we genuinely don't realise we're so great at this thing. We think everybody knows it, so we don't even tell them, we don't even articulate them. Great point there, Ian, I love that. Yeah, Ivana's going to watch the replay, she's missed a chunk of wisdom. And by the way, if there's someone else that you know that could use watching this, do share this with them too. My recommendation is if you're in a group where you're allowed to share stuff, by all means share it. If you've got a friend, a business friend, you know, business buddy you've met at a conference or a seminar, you can actually share this as a private message. So, you know, the world doesn't know that you've shared it, and they get to watch it and join in and get that too. And if you're going to watch it back on the replay, which I often do with the lives that I watch, then if you go to the top, click on the save this video, you'll be able to save it and watch it back. So thank you so much for watching. It was funny because there were lots of different things I could speak about, but I felt really led to talk about clarity and what we put out there, and really putting ourselves out there, because it's an important part of visibility. It's the internal part of visibility, and it's the internal work that actually makes the biggest difference. When you are comfortable in your own skin, and you are completely authentic, don't feel like you have to put on a mask or anything else like that, and it's National Selfie Day today, so, you know, thanks to Lillian for reminding me in the group, then things flow. People feel that authenticity, and if you're not being authentic, they smell it a mile away. And if you're uncomfortable, the discomfort normally comes from not being kind of like aligned. You're a bit discombobulated, if that makes sense. So and Jennifer's saying, it's so true, in terms of practicing and finding someone to hold our hands, to show us how, totally agree. That's why we what we do is our purpose to humanity. And it's funny because, like, you know, even the Vibe system, I didn't do that by myself. I didn't even know it was a system. I worked extensively. I worked with somebody for over a year, not just only on that, but to bring other elements of how I could show up in the world and be visible, and how I could lay out my information in chunks that didn't stuff people's heads. I mean, that was just one of the most valuable pieces, but one of many valuable pieces. You know, I am currently back into a mastermind because I really thrive with the power of the two heads are better than one. You know, my inner circle know that I have been talking about running a more structured mastermind so that people can get that. There's a lot of just go out there, try it yourself, but there's no structure around it. And I want people to be able to put their talks together. I want people to be able to show up on video, on webinar, on Facebook Live, or any of the platforms online. I want people to leverage what they do online to reap the benefits of what they do offline. And a lot of people just position it to, you know, get people more visible online, to sell courses and things like that, which is all great. But a lot of what I do, the real gems, happen offline in my real life. It gives me a life where, despite the fact that I'm not a gazillionaire yet, I'm able to do things like I went to Barbados this year and I went to Mexico. I'm able to do things like come up to Cambridge and still work. It doesn't stop my business. You know, I'm able to do things like enjoy the journey as I go along. You know, we get into this striving place of wanting, and we very rarely stop. And the beauty of being able just to stop or just to pause and enjoy the journey, enjoy these pinch me moments, enjoy walking around looking at Google and just thinking, oh my gosh, it really is how you imagine it to be. I get to look people in the eye and have, you know, hear when they say that something that I've shared has made a difference to their life. And the reason that I love that, as much as it might seem like an ego piece, is when they tell me that, it lets me know what's possible for you. It lets me know what's possible for other people. That's the reason why I get out in the morning. Your visibility, you being seen, you being heard. Thank you so much for watching this. And I look forward to sharing the juicy gems on Monday in the group. If you're not part of the Inner Circle Vibes tribe, then, you know, get yourself in there. And if you're part of the Visibility Vibes tribe, the other group, which has got over, I think we've hit over 750 people, but you know what? There's 750 yummy, juicy people, fun-loving, love stationery, love good food, then get yourselves in there. And if you just want a bit of a pep up every now and then, do like this page and come back to this page so that you can get the nuggets that you need, because sometimes life does this for us, and it's really great to be in and around other people that can help you. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you. Thank you to Jennifer for watching from LA, glamour puss that she is, on music shoots, I have to say. Thank you, Ivona, for watching, who helps you get relationship ready. Thank you, Ian, who's a fantastic cook and photographer, but that's not even what he does in his business. He helps you to build your business web services. So thank you for watching that. He's in the UK too. Thank you to, who have I missed? Lovely Lisa Pascoe. who helps you to press the pause button, stops you from going into overwhelm, and helps to get connected with nature. The lovely Julia Bernard Thompson, how could I forget her after she shared the link so generously for me, who works with Christian women millionaires. Can you believe that? And those of you that are on the road to getting there too, so she helps you with that. And I have to say, she's an absolute ninja when it comes to packaging your services, high ticket packages, proper high ticket packages too. Who else do we have on here? I don't want to miss anyone out. I think those were the people. Oh, we had Reg, who is also coaching for success and high performance, who likes his soul music, I happen to know. I know we had France Lee's on for a bit, who helps you to manage pain, and she's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next live, which will be, unless I do an impromptu one, because so much magic's happening, it will be Monday morning, bright and early, 7 a.m, live here or on the replay for your Monday motivation. Get yourself a dose of Monday motivation for your morning, your Monday or your week. Lots of love. Bye for now.